Welcome everyone to In Our Truck Night in America, live here from Homestead-Miami Speedway for the Vice City 400 in the final race of your 2026 Gainbridge Truck Series season. Folks, tonight we finally crown a champion here for your Gainbridge Truck Series. 3 drivers remain. Ronnie Hauger, Matthew Hubert, and Ricky Lafleur are the final 3 eligible to win the championship here tonight at Homestead-Miami. And boy, oh boy, what what a great season it's been up to this point. Last season was very good, but this one was a great step in the right direction. I mean, just flat out great racing all around at most tracks, and this chase has been quite the chase. I mean, there's been chaos, there's been great finishes, great races, and hopefully it sets us up for an even better start next season, which might be the most competitive season series history. But finally, after 27 weeks, finally here at Homestead-Miami, we finally crowned a champion. Like mentioned before, it's going to be down to Ronnie Hauger, Ricky Lafleur, and Matthew Hubert. All these 3 drivers have been very good so far this season, and now we'll see if it all pays off for one of these drivers here tonight, as Ronnie Hauger has quite the lead over Matthew Hubert, but only an 8-point lead over Ricky Lafleur, so that's going to be the thing that we're watching all night. Where does this 83 and all of them finish? Because there's a lot of scenarios coming into tonight, folks, and we're going to look at them here a little later in the broadcast. We're also going to talk to these drivers pre-race here on the grid at Homestead-Miami. But as we take a look at your weather coming into this race, 94 degrees here tonight. It is a steamer here in Miami. Not quite close to Miami Beach, but still here at Homestead, it is still quite hot. The winds are about 9 miles per hour, so the gusts are pretty high here. So it's pretty windy out here this afternoon, so nice little breeze for some of these drivers. But it's gonna be a hot one. But in the races that we've seen it be really hot, we've had some really, really good racing at these speedways so far this season. So I'm really intrigued how this one's gonna go when it comes to the weather, because this weather is perfect weather for racing. As you can see, Aaron Abel on the pole. I mean, this has got to be his ninth or 10th pole on the season. We know he broke Peter Onjak's record for poles in the season, but man, he's on a run when it comes to these poles. Fortunately for the number 41 team, when they are on pole, they don't typically have the best of luck, but we'll see how it plays out here tonight. Unfortunately for Aaron Abel, after his run-in at North Wilkesboro, he's not in this championship fight anymore, but he was doing very good, leading the regular point standings for a long time. Now Matthew Hubert holds that point standings lead, but this 41 team might be a thorn in the side of all these guys still competing for the championship here tonight, as Aaron Abel has a rocket ship underneath him. So we're going to see how he does. Typically, this 41 leads a good amount of laps to start off the race, then something happens. Being 94 laps here tonight, the pit window going to be around lap 32, so a very long run until the first pit window. It's going to be very interesting to see how this field separates and how this one plays out, because we're going to have a 2-stopper here tonight, because after they pit on around lap number 64, they will be good to the end, barring any cautions. Cautions can shake this one up quite a bit, which is going to make it a very interesting ending, but 94 laps, so will be lap-wise, one of the longer races of the season. Not sure how it will go time-wise, but championship race, all the marbles. You gotta run a little bit extra laps than we usually do. So I'm really excited to be running that here tonight, especially at a great track like Miami, where some guys can make the inside line work and some guys can make the outside line work. But that's enough talking for me. It's the final race of the season, so we're gonna be talking quite a bit, folks. But before we get into our chase standings here tonight, let's head down trackside and talk with the driver of the number 27, Matthew Hubert. So, folks, before we get into your chase standings here tonight, I'm joined trackside here with the driver of the number 27, Matthew Hubert. Last week's winner, Matthew. Coming to this race, you've been one of the best drivers so far this season, but mathematically, you need a lot of help tonight. How are you viewing this race with your team?
Well, basically, it's the last chance we can get to clinch a championship in the 2026 season. However, there's going to need to be a lot to get right in order to get this chase spot. Hope, not sure if it's due to how the A3 and A2 are probably two of the strongest trucks all season. And basically, if anything, Phoenix is anything to go by, hopefully we still have a shot, but who knows?
Yeah, although it's kind of a long shot with how good the 83 and 82 have been this season. There's a lot that needs to go wrong for those two here tonight. This track, Homestead-Miami, is a track that kind of fits your driving style. You won at Darlington to kick off the chase where the high line was very dominant, and Homestead-Miami is another one of those tracks where it requires a lot of skill. So coming into this weekend, this is the longest practice session we've had of the year. How have you practiced this week to prepare for the race, and what type of lines you want to try in the race to try to get the lead early on and drive away with it?
Well, basically, it's a wild card really to try and adjust to different lanes and stuff. Practicing on how good the top lanes are. However, bottom lane seems to be better off. Qualifying looks good. However, trying to get to the lead early on may be a bit of a challenge, but should be easier than Darlington.
So speaking of qualifying coming into tonight, Aaron Abel has qualified on pole. You battled with him and Angel Gutierrez throughout the season when it comes to the regular point standings. Although you have the lead now, do you think that 41 of Aaron Abel starting right in front of you could be a problem here tonight, interfering with your hopes of this championship?
Uh, not necessarily, as long as we finish top 15 or so and Abel doesn't get the win, we should be good. Same thing goes with Gutierrez there. Though those two are pretty strong drivers in their own right, so it's gonna be interesting to see if we can
And lastly, before we send you off here, you finished P3 in the championship last year. Even if tonight doesn't go your way, what's your message to your team about the overall effort this season?
Overall, it's been a relatively successful effort there with 4 wins. Sucks that the 23 fell off a bit at the second half, but myself and Ro have been relatively strong throughout.
All right. Thank you, Matthew, for joining us here trackside. Good luck tonight in your efforts to the race, folks. Let's go check out your chase standings, and we'll speak to Ronnie Hauger and Ricky Lafleur. So that was a great talk with Matthew Hubert right there. A little iffy about his chances here tonight, but that 2017 has been very fast all season. Like you said, Vision Motorsports got 4 wins on the season, so when it comes to a track like Homestead, this is Matthew Hubert's playground, and we might see that here tonight with the moves he might make. But as you look at your championship overview coming into tonight, you can see Ronnie Hauger has got 8-point lead over the number 82 Ricky Lafleur. Meanwhile, Matthew Hubert 28 points behind. It's gonna be very tough for Matthew Hubert here tonight, but like we heard from him there, he's got a shot. He just needs things to happen to this 83 and 82. Um, but you look at this championship outlook right here. I know guys saw it in the server earlier this week, but I mean, this is a pretty competitive final three. I mean, lots of wins between all of them, at least 12 wins, which is makes up, I want to say a third of the 1/3 of the schedule. I don't know. I don't know the math about that, but it's gonna be interesting. I mean, this is a great battle between all these guys, and I mean, Ricky Lafleur and Ronnie Hauger, though. I mean, they've struggled at the speedway so far this season. So I mean, not so far this season. So far this chase at Kentucky, both and Kansas, both of them did not have the greatest performances. So I mean, when it comes to chances here tonight for Matthew Hubert, he has a shot, but I mean, it really depends on how Red Bull Fall it comes out the gates because we know they can start well, but they can easily drift behind. So that's gonna be something to watch out for. But I mean, I Kentucky Hauger did do good. He did finish second at his team owner Alexander Rowe, but now, when we get to the championship scenarios coming into this race, you can see that it's going to be Ronnie Hauger right here to kick off. Fifth or better, he's the champion. So it's pretty set in stone for Hauger. He's got to finish inside this top five. Sixth and 10th, he's champion unless Ricky Lafleur wins. So, you know, just finish top 10 and hope that 82 doesn't win. And then when it comes to outside top 10, 11th, he's Lafleur third or worse. 12th, he's Lafleur fourth or worse. So, it just keeps going on and on. So, for Hauger, his job is easy, but for everybody else, it's going to be quite tough. So, we don't, it's going to be interesting. I mean, I'm not going to say the championship's decided, but when it comes to the odds here tonight, Ronnie Hauger has a great chance at, pulling this one in, especially with Ricky Lafleur starting down on 11th here tonight. We forgot to even mention that in the intro, but Ricky Lafleur starting 11th here tonight. So, it's going to be interesting. But when you get to the championship scenario for Ricky Lafleur, he finishes first. He needs this Hauger to finish sixth or worse, and then it comes a little tricky. If he finishes second, he's going to need Hauger to finish 11th or worse, and then so on and so forth. So for Lafleur, he's going to really need Ronnie Hauger to just finish outside the top 10 and just really try to finish in the top 5 best he can, which is very possible. But I mean, what we saw at Phoenix last week, anything can happen. But Lafleur was able to survive out that one. That's why this gap went down so much. So, despite Ronnie Hauger finishing 28th or 30th last race, I mean, you know, Lafleur still has quite a great shot because anything can happen at a race like this, and you know, it's just it's so close between all these guys. Like the championship scenario is just tricky because it's like we'll talk about one guy. You don't want to hope something happens bad to the other guy. But I mean, hey, that's got to be the name of the game here tonight. Because if you're Matthew Hubert, as we look at his championship scenario right here, this is a lot of numbers on the screen. Like, there's a lot of numbers on the screen. So I don't know how his odds are gonna work. I mean, Hauger finishing 26 or worse, and then Lafleur finishing 18th or worse. That's a lot to ask for if you're this 27 team. So they're gonna have to hope that this one has quite a few cautions or something pops off with this 83 and 82. Because when we look at Hubert's odds here tonight, it's just a lot of numbers, and you don't want to have that many numbers when it comes to your odd when it comes to your chances at something. But we spoke to him. I mean, he knows that, and that's gonna be the one thing that is interesting in this race. How does he attack this one? Because he's gonna need that one. How aggressive is he willing to be? He's gonna be starting on that inside row right behind Aaron Abel. So that is our championship scenarios. When we get into the full chase standings after last week's race, it's still. I mean, it's still just kind of a shakeup after the top three, as we've seen in the past couple weeks. But you know, a great effort by Angel Gutierrez last week. He's got all the way up to fourth now. He jumped 3 spots from seventh to fourth in chase standings. Caleb Rose unfortunately started on the pole last week at Phoenix. Had a great opportunity, and then his suspension went out right when all the chaos started. So unfortunately for Caleb Rose, what could have been for him last week is just the big question. I mean, it would have been a tough beat because that 98 has not gotten a win on the season yet. So that's the one thing that has been plaguing him so far. So it sucks for the 98 team, and then Avery Alford, I mean, ran into Peter Onjak on pit road on the first caution, ended his championship hopes. So, I mean, it has just been chaos every race. So, this race here at Miami tonight could be just the same thing. Last year, it went green flag for the whole race, I believe. So, there's a great shot of that happening again, but I just feel like with how competitive this field is, I just don't think it's going to go green flag fully. It might do that, but I just don't think that's going to quite happen. So, we're going to see how this one plays out here tonight, but that is your chase standings. I mean, Alexander Rowe all the way up to 8th. I mean, that is quite the feat for Alexander Rowe. I mean, he's started off this chase in an awful spot, but now he's all the way up here and he is thriving. I mean, he got that win at Kentucky, but from how this 7 team started, they're definitely going to be happy with how this season finishes, and that's for a lot of teams because a lot of teams ran into bad luck to start out this chase, but they're trying to finish off strong. But for some of these guys, this is going to be some of the last times they race for their current team. They're going to be moving over to new teams. Carson Miller leaving next season to Nico Tech, which will be entering the series. Patrick Nolan is going to be leaving to go to, I want to say Imperial, but it's going to be all in the air. So this can be one of the races where we see these guys racing for some teams for the final time. So some guys are going to really be putting it online. Thankfully, for most of this top 10, everybody's going to be returning. So it'll really be fun to see how all these guys do in the final race of the season. This is for all the marbles, and it just feels like there's just something in the air every time we come to Miami because it is just flat out just pedal to the metal because everybody's just going to be going hard just because they want to win out. We saw Ryan Little win the race last season. He was in the chase, but he was out of it. So everybody's gonna really be pushing hard to get this. And like we said, Phoenix seems like the race that just rejuvenates everybody's hope because Matthew Hubert before Phoenix probably wasn't really in the hunt for the champion. I mean, he was still mathematically in, but he quite didn't really have a chance. But now, after the chaotic finish we saw, he has a chance here tonight, and we'll see how he does with that chance. But we saw it last season with Peter Onjak as well, making that last lap pass. Onjak actually turned the top 10 here tonight. So overall, folks, it's going to be a great race here from Homestead-Miami here tonight. We still have 2 more interviews on the grid here tonight. we got the number 83 Ronnie Hauger and the number 82 Ricky Lafleur both on standby here before we get to the engines firing up for the final time in 2026. That still is crazy to say, but we're gonna have a 4-month off season. Unfortunately, I know guys aren't a fan of that, but we'll hopefully have some things in between that. But this is gonna be the final time these engines fire up in the 2026 season. So we'll talk with that 83 and 82 here who are trackside with our pit reporters right now, and then those drivers will climb into their trucks and we'll get these trucks fired up and going here and get the commands to start our engines and then get these trucks fired off and rolling, folks. So that is all we kind of need to know coming into this one. Drivers look out for, I mean, anybody, honestly. It's Homestead-Miami. It's one of these tracks where, depending on what lines guys run, they can be really good. Hubert's going to be one to watch out for. This is a track that really suits his style. Like we said, it's his play style. This is play style. It's his playground here at Homestead. So we'll see how it goes. Very long pre-race show, but let's go talk with the 82 and 83. So, folks, after taking a look at your chase standings here tonight, we are here with the number 83's driver, Ronnie Hauger. Ronnie, the championship night has finally arrived. What's the confidence level inside the number 38 team heading into the biggest race of the season?
Hello, everyone. My confidence is very, very high at the moment since we qualified in the front row, outside pole, and I feel very, very confident knowing that Hubert starting third and Ricky starting 11th.
And when it comes to the points battle between you guys, you only have an 8-point lead over Ricky, but the job's pretty simple. And starting second here tonight, you only have to stay in the top 5. And with Ricky qualifying in 11th, all those speedways have been a little bit of a struggle for you guys. Do you think you guys finally have that pace to stay up front after the speedways so far in the chase have not gone your way?
Mm, I believe we have the pace and the speed to keep up with the guys at front and be on the front throughout the whole race.
And although if things don't go your way tonight, it's going to be pretty hard. What would be your message to your team after this one here tonight, after the season you guys have had so far, tying Peter Onjak with the most wins in series history in a season?
I have only one message. Please don't kill my truck.
All right. Thank you, Ronnie. Good luck here tonight. It's going to be 94 laps in this race here tonight, so it's going to be a long one. Hope all goes well for your 83 team. All right, folks, we are now joined by the last of our drivers remaining here in the run for the championship. We're joined by the driver of the number 82, Ricky Lafleur here, trackside. Ricky, so far it's been quite the chase run for you and your team. You guys started off with the lead, but after back-to-back 30th place finishes at Kansas and Kentucky, you now come into Miami here tonight. After some good string of races, you're only 8 points behind your teammate. What's your confidence level in this team after the struggles you've had at speedways coming into a race like Homestead-Miami?
Well, we've always been pretty good at Miami on the simulators, so I feel like we're very confident here. We've had a really fast car, or fast truck, I should say, all through the chase, and yeah, that luck at Kentucky and Kansas kind of screwed us. But I mean, we're here, and we got one goal to go win the title, and we haven't won the entire chase, so definitely gonna be. This would be the perfect time to win, is what we think here.
Yeah, and starting 11th here tonight, you start the lowest of the 3 drivers. But when it comes to a race like Homestead, you did really good at Darlington to begin off the chase, where it's a really high line dominant track. So being only 8 points behind, do you have a little bit of worry with Ronnie Hauger starting second here tonight? But he only has to finish outside the top 10 for you to really have a shot at winning this, which isn't too bad. But what's your kind of expectations?
Well, I mean, Ronnie's always been fast. I mean, you see how good he's been all year long. But yeah, I mean, we just got a little bit of worry. But I think once we get going, I think we might be able to just run our race. And if that works out the way it should be, then we might win the title. But if not, we can leave with our heads held high that we did the best we could.
Indeed. So, in general, what would be your final message to the fans and your team who worked hard all season with how many wins you've gotten this season 4, which is incredible as a rookie? What would be the message to all of them at the checkered flag here tonight?
Well, I mean, if we win, it would be a huge statement for our whole team and everybody involved. And if we don't win, I'd just like to thank all the fans for all their support and the team for giving 110% week in, week out. You know, wouldn't be anywhere without them. So it means the world to have such a great team and fans behind us.
All right, thank you. As Ricky climbs into his truck, he starts 11th here tonight, folks. Let's get these trucks fired and ready to go. See you guys in the booth.
And now, for the most famous words in motorsports, please welcome your Grand Marshal, co-host of NBC's Today Show, Hoda Kotb.
So excited. Here we go. Drivers, start your engines!
So as they roll off one final time here in the 2026 season, just how we started at Daytona a couple months ago with Aaron Abel winning here in Florida, we return back to the Sunshine State. This time, Aaron Abel going to be leading us to green as we take a look at your starting top 10 for one final time here this season. To be Aaron Abel on pole alongside your current chase leader, that number 83, Ronnie Hauger. Row number 2 is going to be the number 27, Matthew Hubert, and the number 52 of Avery Alford. Row number 3 is going to be the 43 of Angel Gutierrez, your regular season champion, and the 38 of Joseph Wood. Row number 4 is going to be the number 36 Brandon Haynes, first time winner this season, and the 33 of Carl Young, who also has a win under his belt and ran really well here alongside Brandon Haynes at Homestead last season. And rounding out your top 10 is the 23 and the 03 of Peter Onjek, last year's champion. He finished 6th in this race, I think it was last year, and clinched the championship. And he's starting alongside 23 of Carson Miller. We'll see if he can finally have a stroke of good luck as he returns to the place where he was victorious last season as champion. But like I said here, folks, we will finally crown a champion here for season number 2 as we were green flag for the final time in the 2026 season. So as we come through the complete lap, number 1 is going to be number 41 of Aaron Abel leading here with that number 83 of Ronnie Hauger right behind him. And they're running pretty much, I mean, even right now throughout the pack, which is a little surprising for Miami. It's a little top line dominant for the most part when it comes to certain series that run it. But right now, this number 41's got the lead with that 83 Ronnie Hauger now into second. He really needs to have some good luck, and you're going to see guys run the outside all night here. But the question is, will they be able to complete the move? It's a raw contact between the 42 and 83. And, you know, guys are going to be trying to shut the door on that outside move because it is pretty hard to defend. But that's a good thing to watch here tonight because some guys will really try to work it and eventually hit the wall. But now, number 27, Matthew Hubert on the inside of his 83 of Ronnie Hauger trying to move into second here. As Hauger gonna really mark it on the outside. Does Aaron Abel cover him on? Hauger, a little bit of contact with the wall, but he's gonna switch over and go to the inside now. So there's contact behind here with the 08 and 01, but there goes Ronnie Hauger now shooting to the inside for the lead underneath this 41 of Aaron Abel. We talked about how the C3 needs to really win here tonight, and now on the inside for the lead here. Can he complete the pass? These lines are so even that it's pretty hard. For some reason, the sticker is not updating right now, but Ronnie Hauger now trying to make it work as Aaron Abel really running wide there for a second. now, sound like there was contact back there, but now that number 41 still marking on the outside. If he's going to be able to make that outside work, it's going to be a great move all race. Matthew Hubert now right on the back of this number 27 as well. Now Ricky Lafleur trying to break into that top 10 too. But now Hubert possibly 30 wide for a second. It looked like he wanted to get a look there. It's not going to happen. But 6 laps into this one, very competitive so far. As now Hauger to the inside once again. He just hasn't been able to quite clear him yet. As he might get him here in turn number 4, but we have such a long run to the first pit stops. You wonder how hard these guys are going to go early on in this race, but we don't have pit stops until lap number 32, so it's going to really make it challenging here. I'm not sure why the ticker's not updating right now. I mean, it's updating a little bit, but it's not live like it should be. But now Hauger, I mean, he's still right on the inside, trying to get that lead, but it's not quite working out for him so far. Oh, and he might actually clear him here going into turn number 4. It's a new leader. It's going to be the 83 of Ronnie Hauger, unless the 41 shoots it on the outside, which he will try to do. Hubert and Hauger both trying to make this inside work as Chris Martin's into that outside wall, which we saw a lot last season here at Miami. But Aaron Abel's going to get that lead back. I don't know what's going on with the sticker right now. It's just not updating at all for some reason. But now Avery Alford moving into second behind his teammate. Alford really been running it that outside. So he's 3 wide behind here between Caleb Rose and all those guys. As now Caleb Rose was on the inside of this 3 wide. As it's Chris Martins, Caleb Rose, Ricky Lafleur. Lafleur's got to break into this top 10 somehow. Chris Martins trying to shoot around the outside. Lafleur, though, going to make a mistake there. And that's 6 and 40. Going to ride the wall around his outside and kind of work for him somehow. But now up here, Hauger still trying to work on the inside of that number 41 of Aaron Abel. Oh, pop up there, sorry folks. But now that number 83 still on this inside here. He's so close to the outside, it's just so hard. I mean, some guys can make the moves, but Miami is just gonna be one of those races where these guys are just gonna be duking it out. As now they're just double file here. And man, I mean, just wondering how much of their stuff are they using right now. Oh, look, the ticker finally is doing a updated time. It took a couple laps, but has figured itself out. But now, this 83 going to be battling with this 42 for a second here. But if you're going to see 3 of Hauger, you got to move to this outside here and try something, because Aaron Abel is just too strong on that outside right now. But they are starting to build quite the gap. Ricky Lafleur into the wall back here. And not great for Ricky Lafleur as he's just collecting all the stripes he can here tonight. So now as they make their way in here, these guys are just racing so close. Aaron Abel still on that outside. Matthew Hubert now looking for third behind Avery Alford. And, you know, Hubert's got to hope something happens to this 83, because right now he doesn't really have a shot unless this 83 struggles. I mean, even the 82 of Ricky Lafleur as well, who's finally broken to the top 10, but still just struggling quite a bit. But as they make their way through here, still smooth sailing right now for this 41 Aaron Abel. But we mentioned it time and time again, he always starts off these races where he leads a bunch of laps at the start, and then a caution comes out. So really anything can happen in this one. But Ronnie Hauger now back to the inside once again, trying to get this lead. Who knows if Joseph Wood did not come up on track at North Wilkesboro, if this could be a battle for the championship right now, because Aaron Abel was the biggest thorn in Ronnie Hauger's side. And he was on quite the run with his back-to-back wins, which we haven't seen in a while in NTNA, with drivers winning back-to-back races, besides Ricky Lafleur. So 41 was on quite the run, and he's on the run right again. Matthew Hubert sticking to this inside line, but if you're Hubert here, do you maybe want to go to that outside? We heard in his pre-race interview, he said the inside's a little iffy. But, you know, right now he's still just, you know, running the inside. He's trying to make it work. He's getting a good run, but he's just not been able to clear him out of the corners. But as these guys break away here, they got quite a gap to Joseph Wood back here, who's still running well. Carl Young, like we mentioned it, I mean, Carl Young's been really solid in the second half of this chase so far. Isn't in the chase, but he's been really good. And Matthew Hubert trying to get to the inside of Ronnie Hauger here. But like we were saying, this 33-year Carl Young got that one at Las Vegas last season as a rookie. And, you know, he's really turned up in the second half of the season for McLaren Phantom Racing under Leonard Kochmer's leadership. And, you know, he's really been doing well. So, I mean, we know Leonard Kochmer's been pivotal in the development of this 83 of Ronnie Hauger as his mentor. And, you know, he went from Red Bull Fallout to working for McLaren Phantom. And he's really got this 33 of Carl Young starting to run well now. But now, that 83 of Ronnie Hauger not really able to stick it on that inside anymore. Now, Avery Alford trying to figure it out just a little bit. But it's very interesting right now seeing the different lines these guys are running. Marion Abel's really trying to pin it to the outside just a little bit. But everybody else, you know, really just, you know, running that middle to inside line here, trying to get something going, trying to get a run on this number 41. But right now, it's not quite working too far in low. Look at Hubert shooting around the outside. I mean, I really think this is a track that Matthew Hubert's going to excel at, because we saw him dominate at Darlington as he might shoot the, I mean, these camera angles make it look different than it is, but it looked like he was trying to shoot the gap between the 41, the 42 and 83 for a second. But I really do think if this 27 sticks on the outside, he's going to make a lot of moves in this race, because Matthew Hubert, when it comes to tracks that are outside line dominant, he is so good at them. And Phoenix was a little bit of a weird win for Hubert, because he's not typically the guy at short ovals, but was really good at Phoenix. And now Avery Alford gonna hit that outside wall, and now there goes Matthew Hubert now trying to break into second here, as Alford gonna really ride that wall here. Can Hubert clear him going into turn number 1? So now Matthew Hubert gonna look to clear this number 42 of Avery Alford to get a run on that 41 of Aaron Abel as well. So now Matthew Hubert's trying to get this lead here as it's 3 wide behind with Ricky Lafleur and that 98 of Caleb Rose. So now Caleb Rose back here on the inside for that 82 for a second, but now that 82 trying to make some moves. Chris Martin's breaking into the top 10. Martins will be replacing Carson Miller at Vision Motorsports as that number 42 is into the wall again. Avery Alford collecting a lot of stripes here at Homestead-Miami, and that's why this is a track that's very similar to Darlington and how well that number 27 Matthew Hubert ran, because he was able to pin it on that outside of Darlington and not catch a stripe at all. So, you know, this is his forte. Unfortunately, when it comes to the odds here tonight, and when it comes to luck, this is not quite what Matthew Hubert's preferable position would be. But, you know, getting a win in off the season still would be good if he won the championship or not. So right now, Ronnie Hauger still has that championship locked up. You know, he only needs us to finish in the top 5. And, you know, he'll be fine, but, you know, that's a lot to say, and it's a long race. We're still about 12, 13 laps out of the pit window currently. So, it's going to be interesting. I mean, if he stays in this top 10, unless Ricky Lafleur wins, he's going to be in a good spot. So, line up for Hauger. It's just about holding on for him. But now Avery Alford's trying to shoot to the outside. Looks like for a second of that number 27 doesn't quite work out. Meanwhile, Carl Young now working on that 38 of Joseph Wood here to move into 6th here, which they have closed down the gap quite a bit here, all of them to this top 4 who have all been battling. So Carson Miller been driving his way through. Miller looked very good at Phoenix last week, and I think he probably had the best truck in that race before they ran into all those issues. So, you know, Miller heads to Ecotech next season, but he's going to be a very interesting driver to watch out for in this one here tonight, and his final, I guess, run here for Vision Motorsports. But now Aaron Abel really pinning it on that outside. Just been so good here tonight. Has not made a mistake and hit that outside wall just yet, knock on wood. And wow, he's getting a great run too. Matthew Hubert not able to keep up with him, as Hubert was really moving on that outside line. So we'll see if he tries to pin it up there just a little bit. But right now, he's really just been running that mid to lower line as Ronnie Hauger trying to work on that 42 Avery Alford to get past him and move into 3rd here, as those two battled 3 by 3 side by side here on the backstretch. So now Alfred gonna pin it on that outside, try to get a run off the corner. If Hubert covers him off, and Hubert will not. So there goes Avery Alfred now. Not sure if this 27 has an issue. It doesn't look like it, so just gets completely outrun by the 42 there. If you're Hubert here, you gotta try to pin it on that outside. I'm not sure why him and this 83 of Hauger have been so dependent on that inside line. You can't force the issue on that outside. I mean, it's pretty easy to not, what am I gonna say? It's pretty easy to force a guy to move out the way if you're on the outside, because if you get such a good run, it's either move out the way or you're gonna get shipped. So as you get on single foul here, we can see how it plays out. Oh, there goes Hubert to the outside of the sorted two of Alpha. We said it, you gotta use that outside line. And there goes Hauger and Hubert now. And they're gonna shoot it around the outside here. I mean, this is just such a long race that I'm just curious how this tire fall off is gonna be, because we're seeing these guys race so hard right now, but I feel like when we get later in this run, how much will it chill out? Because we saw all these guys catch up at one point. Now the gap is starting to grow once again, but these guys are just all running double foul right now. So, I mean, there's a gap forming. I guess I should have the track map up here, but I mean, there is quite the gap forming, which I probably should get up here in a second for you guys and actually put up that track map so we can see where everybody is on track. But yeah, 27 Hubert right now, trying to make something work, but that 8-3 of Hauger gets a great run at outside. But I mean, this is a great, just a great overall race so far. And as we get near the pit window here, I mean, we're not really close to lap traffic, so it's not going to have quite much of an effect. So it's really going to be based off strategy in this first run. So now you're probably going to have to drop and just kind of file down to third here. But, you know, he's really running that inside line, and, you know, I'm curious what the grip levels are on that inside. Because, I mean, he's been making it work for the most part, but as we move further in this race, I wonder how much that inside line has an effect on these tires. But, you know, we got a lot of rookies in this top 10. We didn't really have the rookie marker the past couple races with this new ticker, but now that we can see how many rookies is, it's been amazing. And there goes Ronnie Hauger to the outside, forcing the issue. Does he get the lead here? He's gonna get a shot here on the outside of Aaron Abel here on lap number 27. New leader, the 83 of Ronnie Hauger now. Hauger leads the chase currently, and this is exactly what he needs to get the lead here from that 41 of Aaron Abel. If you're the leader, it seems like if you get that outside line, you're gonna be pretty hard to pass here. So, I mean, actually, lap traffic's not too far away, so we might see some guys get involved up here. But right now, that 83 Ronnie Hauger now at the head of the charge here. But now there goes that 27 Hubert to the outside. Hubert now shooting the gap on the outside. Aaron Abel here. Not sure if he burnt up his stuff, but as we get closer to this pit window here soon, we're going to start to see some guys fall off. And I'm kind of curious what the potential thing could be. And just for clarification, this is all old on that pit window, so ignore that because it doesn't have anything to do with the actual race. But now is Hubert on that outside line? Does he get a run on the 83 here? Does he shoot the gap, or does Hauger cover him off the run? Might run out, or does he shoot the gap? Yes, he will. There goes Hubert now, trying to work to the outside of this 83 of Hauger. Does Hauger shut the door? All this battling going on just outside of the pit window here. And these guys really trying to get the upper hand going into pit road. And now it's going to be the 27 of Matthew Hubert with the lead. Hubert trying to go 2 in a row, win at Phoenix and Miami, and tie Ronnie Hauger and Peter Onjak for the most wins in series history all time. Peter Onjak started in 9th in this one. Put Peter Onjak all the way down in 17th. So now, as Hubert has the lead here, he now dictates how this next pit window will go. But now Aaron Abel now back on that outside line, might try to shoot it here on the outside here to work around that number 83 of Ronnie Hauger in that Logitech machine. So now there goes Aaron Abel. But all these leaders battling up here, and Ricky Lafleur getting some spots as well. But Alshon Aroa been a huge mover in this race as well. So lots of guys moving up throughout this one. So now Aaron Abel gonna really run that outside line here for Hubert. You're gonna wanna try to clog up the outside as much as you can. Have to force this 41 to make a move on the inside, but we are nearing the pit window now. So when do these guys come in and make their moves? With Aaron Abel trying to run that outside, and Hubert really running an interesting line here. That 41 trying to get a toe off of him and really get a run outside the corners. And look, they probably set up a move going into turn number 4 here. If Matthew Hubert does run a little bit lower, which we've seen him prefer that middle to lower line, but this time unless the 41 shoots to the outside, Hubert's going to actually cover him off here. So Hubert defending pretty well, but now we're going to possibly see pit stops here. Here comes the 98, the 7, the 33, the 82, Ricky Lafleur. This is a stop he needs to make if he wants to have a shot at the championship. So as these guys all make their way down the pit road here, it's going to be a very treacherous entry as the 55 Benson Prosio just made it looked like he made contact with the pit wall for a second. So now this is where everything is going to get dicey here. This pit window, Avery Alford made a huge uppercut. He's actually coming off the pit road now, so Alford went for the undercut. So we'll see how that plays out here. So does Hubert come down now? And actually, they're all going to come down with them. So these guys all coming down here. How will it play out? Does anybody run it a little bit more longer? Brandon Haynes, Rockwell Dornan all bringing it out. Avery Alford, as we know, came down early and went for the undercut. So Avery Alford now trying to get something going, which will be the final race. Gainbridge is sponsoring this 42 because it will be C4 Energy joining the Cola Wars next year under Keurig, and they're going to be sponsoring this 42 of Alford. And I believe Gainbridge is jumping over to the number 12, not 12, the number one of the cars, one of the trucks are Phantom McLaren, but now as they make their way out here, it's going to be the 98 and 42 who might be dictating how this goes here. Caleb Rose is going to get dusted by that 42, but as they all come off here, will that undercut work? And it will for Avery Alford. Zernable beats Matthew Hubert off the pit road. Joseph Wood beats it off the 83, and not the greatest stop here for the 83 of Ronnie Hauger. So as they all make their way off the pit road, just like we saw last season, pit strategy is going to be the key, the name of the game, as now it's going to be Avery Alford with the lead here, as now it's going to be this 41 and 27 all having to drive their way forward, as well as the 83 of Ronnie Hauger. So once again, like last season, a little bit of an not underdog, but not who you were expecting to lead the race after the first pit stops. But now, Caleb Rose searching for his first one, going to really try to close up on this 42 Avery Alford. He's making up quite some time right now. So as we get into this lap traffic, we're going to be in the thick of it right now. I'm going to be really curious to see how it plays out with this outside line of lap traffic. Will the lap traffic run that outside and really force guys to really have to work those moves on the inside? We will see, but now it's going to be the 42 of Avery Alford and the 98 of Caleb Rose battling in this one here to get the lead, which is kind of shades of what we saw, I think, actually, ironically, with the 7 of Matthew Hubert and the 19 of Ryan Little. Ryan Little finally got McNally Racing's technical second one, I guess, actually, because McNally Racing won Daytona last season and then won the season finale at Miami, but finally got the back of your lane. It was actually, ironically, Matthew Hubert and the 19 of Little, I think, were battling for the most part in that one after the first pit cycle. So now the 98 of Caleb Rose is going to be right on the back of the sports team Avery Alford. The next pit stops will be around lap 64 in this one, which will take us to the end unless a caution comes out. So we will see how that all plays out, but Caleb Rose now trying to look to the inside for the lead of this 42 of Avery Alford. Avery Alford made the ultimate undercut. He pit even earlier than the 98 of Caleb Rose, so I'm really curious how these strategies are going to play out for these two, because these two are going to have the great trucks right now. They're going to have the track position now, but they're going to have a very early tire fall off. They're likely going to have to come down on lap 60 or 62, I would say. So they're going to have to pit a little bit earlier, but if they can continue this track position, they're going to be in a good spot. But Caleb Rose making the inside work here. That's going to be the 98 taking the race lead here. We have not seen that all night with guys making moves on the inside, but Caleb Rose trying to get it done here to get the lead here from the 42 of Avery Alford. So now that these two just battling side by side as everybody back here, a little bit of a cluster of lap traffic here, and able the 27 of Matthew Hubert and Ronnie Hauger kind of in no man's land. And there goes Ricky Lafleur trying to get past this 55 of Vincent Prosio, who I think Prosio is actually in this top 15 here. So Prosio having a great run here, which would be, I think, around 11th here, or 12th here. So if you're Ricky Lafleur, you got to pick up the pace just a little bit. So yeah, Prosio running all the way in 13th, so that's a great run for him, going to NS Racing next season. But these two battling for so long side by side. Caleb Rose finally going to bank out a little bit, say you can have it. I'm going to stick to my groove here, try to work back to that outside and get to you once again. But great battling between these two. And, I mean, ironically, it's the two that last week needed really good runs. Unfortunately, both fizzled out when it mattered the most. I mean, it's a matter of what could have been for the 98 of Caleb Rose. Got the pull at last week's race at Phoenix, and really was setting himself up if all that chaos ensued for a race win, and he would have been right on the tail end of the 83 Ronnie Hauger and been a better spot than Matthew Hubert. But unfortunately, for the 98 of Caleb Rose, it was just not meant to be either for the 42 of Avery Alford. But these two still not giving up despite their championship hopes ending last week. These two now battling for the lead as Rose on the inside of Alford, side by side. The more these two battle, though, the 7 Alexander Rose is going to make his way through here, as well as the 27 of Matthew Hubert, and possibly this 41 of Aaron Abel, who's finally making his way through, and even Carl Young, who's having a great run here tonight as well. But Rose still trying to work it on that inside line here, already on lap 40 here into this one at Miami. And, you know, it's just, Miami's one of those oddball races where the strategy really shakes it up, and you really get to see guys that maybe weren't running the best at the start of the race start to battle for the lead. It's kind of a matter of how long they can hold on. I mean, I'm almost certain that this is almost identical pit strategy to what we saw the 19 of Ryan Little run last season, which ultimately won him this race. So I'm really curious how this is going to play out for the 98 and 42 this time around, as there goes Matthew Hubert to the inside of Alexander Rowe here for third. But I'm really curious if the undercut's going to be the name of the game here this year at Miami once again. We'll see if maybe Hubert, Aaron Abel, they maybe decide to pull the trigger and go for the undercut as well. We saw Ricky Lafleur kind of try it, but it didn't work out too well. And now outside of this top 10 here, it has just not been the night for Ricky Lafleur. Finally gets behind that, but 55, but man, he is quite a ways away. And just, I mean, he's almost a straight away behind the leaders here. So this is just not where you want to be if you're the 82 Ricky Lafleur. He's gonna need a caution to come out or something to bunch this field back up to really get a shot here. Which a caution coming out right now would be the worst possible situation for some guys, because that would mean we'd have to make a pit stop around lap 75. A pit stop on lap 75 is by far not the preferred, because you're going to be pitting with about 20 laps to go, and that's not enough time to make up the amount of time that we'll see. Amount of time gained that we'll see. So now as these guys settle down just a little bit, they're going to be closing in on the 98 and 42 here soon. We're going to have quite the battle here for the lead as Avery Alford getting the elbows out on the 98 of Rose, just a little bit kind of killing his run there. But Rose really trying to make this work. He's going to really go to the inside here once again. So Caleb Rose now battling for the lead once again here under the lights here at Miami, trying to take this one here from that 42 of Alford. So just 2 laps away from the halfway point in this one. And now we got everybody back together up here. I got that 92 of Ryan Osborne up ahead, but now Caleb Rose going to drop down to third as there goes Alexander Rose shooting it to the outside, but Caleb Rose going to really try and make it work on his inside. Avery Alford really running wide there. You know, I mean, Alford's collected quite a few stripes, so it's pretty impressive how he's still running up here, but he's hit the wall quite a few times. But there goes Aaron Abel trying to make it 3 wide. Avery Alford contact with Caleb Rose for a second. Aaron Abel 3 wide, trying to take the move, get a 3 for 1 here, and get the lead here. What a move by Aaron Abel, shooting it to the inside. Wow, Aaron Abel getting the elbows out here at Homestead-Miami, and he might just take the lead right back here. What a move by that 41. He just shoots it to the inside of everybody here, and now your pole sitter gonna get back into lead here potentially as he battles side by side with his teammate Avery Alford. So now, with all this happening here, Ronnie Hauger is all the way down in 8th. For Matthew Hubert, he's gonna need way worse, but Ronnie Hauger all the way down in 8th here. That's gonna really open a window here for this 82 Ricky Lafleur potentially here soon, but you know, he's just not running too fast. But Hauger trying to work on this 38 of Joseph Wood. He might actually get the pass off here, so there goes Hauger now to the inside of Wood here to move into 7th potentially. But man, officially 47 to go in this one at the halfway point in this race, and it has been quite the battle all night, but Aaron Abel now in the lead here. We'll see what Avery Alford can do here, but man, oh man, it's just going to be quite the run to the end here. 94 laps, one of the longer races we'll see of the season, and officially 30 minutes into actual racing action, but this 41 Aaron Abel has officially taken off from everybody here. He just gets to see it's all of them. And, you know, for Matthew Hubert, you want to keep him in tow here because you really need to get that win with how the 83 and 82 are running right now. Brian out, not quite working out. Caleb Rose falling off just a little bit. With all these guys battling up here with this lap traffic, there's quite a few fast trucks. Diaz Bento, Patrick Raven, Sierra Taylor, Terry Bull, all very solid trucks. It's going to be quite the challenge here. This 92 Ryan Osborne running that outside line, going to kind of cut off the clean air for this 41 of Aaron Abel. So we might see this 42 Avery Alford get to the outside for the lead here going to turn number 1. So now there goes that number 41 on the inside of this 92 again, trying to get past this lap traffic. But like we said, it has been rare tonight when we've seen guys be able to make moves on the inside line. They're able to keep their nose in it, but you know, you really need a mistake on the guy. There's a mistake from the guy on the outside to get it done. Is Avery Alford gonna shoot the gap on the outside? What a power move by Avery Alford. Gonna make it 3 wide here as he says, I need to get a move on here. And he might shoot to the outside of this 41 of Aaron Abel as well. What a move by Avery Alford now, and he's gonna take the lead here potentially. Avery Alford just shooting the gap there, and it's going to work out here as he's going to now be side by side with the 41 of Aaron Abel. So now there goes Avery Alford now into the lead here in this race. I mean, what moves we've seen here tonight from all these drivers. This is amazing to see them all run this well. And I mean, not even all run this well, just not even run well. See them make these crazy moves, running awesome here, as now these guys are going to battle side by side once again. So now Aaron Abel going to shoot back to the inside and really make it work there, which we've not seen all night, but this 41 is a rocket ship right now. But like we said, time and time again, every time this 41, you think he's got a shot at the race win, something happens to Aaron Abel. Not quite happened yet here tonight. We're not wishing anything, but you just don't know here in this race, and we're, you know, not too many laps far from the pit window here in this one as well. So the second round of pit stops, we'll see how they go this time, but we saw this 42 and 98 really, oh, and there goes 7 out in a row, shooting it to the outside. Not as many stripes we've seen collected in the second half, but you know, as we near lap 64, which will be around 30 to go, so we're still about 12 laps out of the pit window here. It's going to be really interesting to see when does this 42 and 98 come down. But now Alexander Rowe, who's been having an interesting run to this point, now going to be moving into second here for Matthew Hubert. This is kind of a worst case scenario for you because he's trying to make that inside work, but it's not quite working out so far. But there goes Alexander Rowe now to the outside, trying to make something work with this 41 of Aaron Abel, trying to get past him here. But if you're Matthew Hubert, you might just want to pin it to the outside here, try to get past this 42 because nothing's working right now on that inside. And you got a premium opportunity with that number 83 and 82 now running in 8th and 10th right now. When we come to this pit window, these guys can even be more farther behind, but right now Hubert is just really I mean, he's adamant about running this inside line, which is quite the opposite from what we saw at Darlington. Yeah, I mean, he's just trying, but I mean, what point does the crew chief get on the radio here and say, you gotta run the outside, man, this inside's not working out for you. You're losing some time right now. So we're just a little bit outside of the pit window, but this 98 and 42 are gonna be the ones that really come down first. So we'll see how it plays out, but I mean, I don't know. We saw last season I don't know if Little went for the undercut all night, but if you're the 27 Hubert, I mean, it doesn't hurt to try at this point. I mean, might as well make the move, as now Ronnie Hauger just passed the 2 guys now, actually trying to work on that number. He got past the 33 and 30, so he's all the way up to 6 now. And, you know, he's making up some valuable time right now, because this is the time he needs to make up here as we near that pit window in just about 8 laps. We see these guys up here. Oh, and there goes Patrick Raven catching a stripe there. This might spell some trouble for that 41 of Aaron Abel. But now Caleb Rowe is going to move into 2nd here, get past that number 7 of Rowe. So see maybe if he was hanging back, conserving some of his stuff to really make a run here, to put himself in the best spot here coming to this pit window here, which the tire fall-off is going to be pretty interesting here, as Matthew Hubert might just cleared that 42 here, potentially for 4th. So Hubert finally makes that inside work a little bit, but now he's going to have to get past that 7 of Alexander Rowe as well, and he might, and Avery Alford trying to work on that outside, really slide up there and get a good run off, but he's not going to get it just this time. But now Aaron Abel going to come up on this lap traffic right here. Lap traffic's been a thorn in his side, especially the Haynes Racing trucks when it comes to lap traffic, so we'll see how nice they play it with this number 41, but the last thing he wants to see is a Haynes Racing truck ahead of him after what happened at North Wilkesboro. So now, as he comes here, we'll see how it plays out. So now, with a 37 Bento, gonna just completely cover him off there. Wow. Bento just slid up in front of the 41 of Aaron Abel. Still some bad blood between Haynes Racing and Racing Motorsports. Racing Motorsports tried to file for a suspension on the Joseph Wood, and they filed, and there was a full-blown investigation. So you know Haynes Racing isn't very fond of this number 41. As you know, I mean, they probably understood his frustration with the 30 to Joseph Wood, but probably the asking for suspension and all that has not made them too pleased with how this 41's been, and just Racing Motorsports as a whole. So I mean, I've seen Racing Motorsports and Red Bull fallout beef, but you know, Haynes Racing and Racing Motorsports is another element of it. But as we get into this lap traffic right here, Matthew Hubert now on the inside of this 98 of Caleb Rose. But if you're Matthew Hubert here, this inside is not going to work here. The lap traffic, you're going to have to get to that outside. But I mean, he's just so keen here tonight on running that inside that I don't know if he's going to really shoot for the outside. I mean, he's the only guy that's been doing that all night, where he just really pens it to the inside and makes it work. But as we come through here, it's going to be the 42 Alfred pitting with just 33 to go. So this is way earlier than I thought. It's going to be an oil leak for the number 9 of David Dixon, and that might spell trouble here. If he's gonna, I might come down here, but should not have oil on the track. Hopefully it does not go into something bigger than it needs to be, but an oil leak is just not what we need right now. But looks like he's gonna bring it down pit road and we're gonna be fine here, but you know, that's not what we need in this one. But the 42 making such a late pit stop here. Gonna be very interesting. I mean, early pit stop, not late. This is before Nolan. But I mean, these guys are all entangled right now. Aaron Abel gonna make it through here, though, and here comes Caleb Rose as well for Matthew Hubert. He's trying to make that inside work, but he's now losing valuable time here. And I mean, he doesn't have a shot to get to the outside either right now. So if you're Hubert, you might just want to peel it down pit road here and go for that undercut, just like these other guys have been doing. We'll see what Caleb Rose does here. I think Rose is coming down here. So Caleb Rose is going to come down here. Matthew Hubert not going to follow him. I don't know about that. We'll see how it plays out. But Avery Alford will see how that undercut works once again. See how long Aaron Abel runs. He's been known to go for the overcut and it really work out and get him such a huge gap. So we'll see what he's able to do here on this one here at Miami. But he is known for going for that overcut, and it's worked out. He got back-to-back race wins doing it. Less fuel to put in the truck, makes it lighter. So we'll see how it plays out here. Now, you know, it looks like he's going to try to do that here. So now Aaron Abel going to go for the undercut, as well as the 27 of Matthew Hubert. So Matthew Hubert trying some new things as well. His make or break for that 41 team. He's going to try his best to run as long as he can. Does anybody follow him? Doesn't seem like it. So 38 is going to follow him. And the 40 here, the 42 is already on the back of him too. That's not extra signs. We'll see where Alfred comes out. He's going to be way ahead of this 98 of Caleb Rose coming off the pit road. So Caleb Rose is going to be behind Avery Alfred once this all cycles through here. But Aaron Abel going to bring his way down the pit road, as well as Matthew Hubert here. So how well will this overcut work? I don't think it's going to work too well, as here comes Alfred here. But we will see with just 30 to go into this race. This is going to be a long run to the end. How will it play out for these drivers? Here, the 27 and 41 pit crews. This is a make it or break it stop here. And we're going to see how fast they run here on pit road, because they need to have the fastest pit stops they can here. And really be able to make it around here, because that number 430, that 42 is already making up so much time here. I just don't like this start for them. As here comes Alfred, yeah, he's going to completely pass him here. So Alfred going to have a huge lead here potentially on the 41 and 27. So Hubert and the 41 are going to come off the pit road here. So now Alfred going to have the lead. Ricky Lafleur, not sure where he's at on the racetrack. But now Alfred going to cycle through here, I believe. Bento actually ran it super long. So now Alfred's going to get the lead. Who's going to be in second though? Will it be the 82 of Lafleur potentially here? No, it's going to be Caleb Rose. Is Lafleur going to be a lap down? Wow. Lafleur going to be a lap down here. He has a terrible pit stop. So that's going to be interesting. Ronnie Hauger going to be still in it. So he's still running in quite a good spot here. Matthew Hubert though, I don't know. That might be his championship hopes in smoke here. But now the 42 of Avery Alfred with the lead with just 28 to go here in the season finale at Miami. So everybody about 3 seconds behind. If you're Matthew Hubert, Ronnie Hauger's not having the issues he's wanted. A lot can happen in 27 laps. We typically always see a late race caution, but you just don't know at this point. But Ricky Lafleur did not get off the truck, get off the hauler well, and it's going to translate over. So now, with this lead, we'll see how well Caleb Rose, we'll see if Caleb Rose is able to catch up to him. He's going to have to work on Sustra here, which is not going to be easy. They have Aaron Abel right behind him. This 27 Hubert's trying to make his way through, and Alexander Rowe was really up there in that fight as well. But we'll see how much the 17 puts up a fight. But Rose is going to have to gain as much time as he can here, because that 41 is really, he's going to have the lightest fuel load along with the 27 of Hubert. So those two have the least amount of fuel in the tanks, which is going to be something to watch out for if a caution does come out, because he might have to spend a little bit longer on pit road. So now Alfred with this lead here. Lafleur's going to try to unlap himself here, which we'll see if he's able to do that. But, this is just shades of last season. Miami's just one of those oddball tracks where guys just, there's that one guy that comes out of nowhere and excels during the pit stop process, and it's the undercut here tonight for Avery Alfred. Meanwhile, Caleb Rose not able to get past the 17 of Sustra just yet. He might finally do it here, but Aaron Abel right behind him as well. See David Dixon back there, going to be heading to Red Bull Fallout next season to be driving that 84, replacing Patrick Nolan, as we mentioned pre-race. So one of his final race for Gale Force, which that team will be, that number 9 team will be shutting down after the season. So now at 42, he's gonna have that 98 and 41 potentially, and his mirrors here. So in his mirrors here soon. But we'll see how they do here. But just wonder. I mean, they just can't get past the 17 to Sustra right now. He's pinning it on that outside, which is smart for Sustra. But I mean, I don't know. So right now, our champion would be Ronnie Hauger, As there goes Aaron Abel, making it 3 wide for second here. Well, not even second, just 2 wide for second, but 3 wide on track there. And he's going to complete the pass on this number 98 of Caleb Rose there. So now Aaron Abel going to be in the driver's seat here to potentially catch up to that number 42 of Avery Alford here. But now Kyler Sustra going to hit that outside wall here. Now Caleb Rose is going to have nowhere to go but the inside line, which we thought he'd get a good run there, but now Aaron Abel going to benefit off that, and now he's going to have a clear track ahead to this 42 of Avery Alford. So coming to 20 to go in this race right now. Looking like it's going to be a I guess Championship 3 winner, which we saw last season with Ryan Little winning that one. But, you know, some of the final laps here this season. Thank you all for being a part of the season so far. You know, it's been a long season up to this point, but, you know, this is a great community. Thankful to have all you guys as drivers. It's just a great community. You know, very diverse when it comes to how many people we got in here, which I like. So, you know, I'm really pleased that we're gonna have a 3rd season. I'm really excited for how that 3rd season will go, because we're gonna have even more new people. A 2nd series opening with the Logitech Challenger Series. So, it overall is gonna be a very, very fun, you know, next season here. I'm looking forward to how everything goes. I'm just so thankful for all the people that took part in this season and made it so great. So as we come to the final, we are winding down this 2026 season here, folks. As we come down to the final 20 laps in this one, as Aaron Abel trying to run down his teammate, the 42 of Avery Alford. Meanwhile, Ronnie Hauger just trying to hold on here and win his first championship here in our truck night in America for Red Bull File Out Racing. Matthew Hubert, I think, will finish. Oh, what happened to Matthew Hubert? Coolant link for Matthew Hubert, and that's going to completely put his championship hopes in a coffin here, as here he comes off the pit road right here. So Matthew Hubert, a coolant link when it wasn't needed, and you know, he was already going to be out of it with how well Ronnie Hauger was running here tonight. But for Matthew Hubert, likely, I don't know where he's going to finish. He might finish 4th or 5th here potentially in the final standings, unless a caution comes out and he gets lucky here. But you know, he finished 3rd in the championship last season behind Ricky Lafleur and Ronnie Hauger. There goes Aaron Abel into the lead here, past that number 42 of Avery Alford here. So there goes Aaron Abel now, looking to win from Poland off the season on a high note. He won at Daytona, now looking to claim both races in the Sunshine State. Well, yeah, New Smyrna as well. But you know, a coolant leak for Matthew Hubert. It's just not what he needed. You know, the night wasn't going too well either. I mean, he had some solid chances, but you know, they just didn't line up for the 27 team. So I mean, with Aaron Abel winning, I mean, he might drop down just even farther. But for Ronnie Hauger, that is a sigh of breath. That's a breath of fresh air that he needs. As now, that has officially locked him up the championship. As unless a caution comes out here and gives Ricky Lafleur a shot here, who is just under and not a lap down, as he got past that 42 eventually, as he's now working on these guys. But now all Ronnie Hauger has to do is coast to the end here, hope something bad doesn't happen. He will be your champion here for season number 2. I mean, with 6 wins on the season, I mean, that is no joke. They've really turned up here in the chase especially. And you know, it's been a great performance for that A3 team. You know, they've been the guys at short tracks. They've not quite been the speedway guys as you see here tonight, but you know, another great run here at Homestead's gonna get them the championship unless something happens here. But you know, a well-deserved championship, and you know, I mean, that's seems like when a guy gets 6 wins, you know, that's kind of the omen to not omen. I mean, I guess that's the omen that, you know, you might be champion, because I mean, Peter Onjak got 6 wins last season, won the championship. So Ronnie Hauger now, you know, following that up as well. So maybe the sweet spot is 6 wins here in the series to get that championship. But now Caleb Rose is going to close in on that 42 of Avery Alford to potentially move into 2nd here. Just like last year, this one looks to stay caution-free here. And now Caleb Rose is going to move into 2nd here. you know, try to chase down that 41, but I don't think he quite has the juice to do it. But now, Ronnie Hauger gonna be, he's still just cruising in 6th. He doesn't really have to do too much in this one. Last year, Peter Onjak won the championship from, oh, actually, here he is, actually, right here. Peter Onjak won the championship from fourth place finish, tied Landon Lauterbach, which made him the champion with 6 wins. So now, you know, running 15th here tonight, started in the top 10 actually. Has not had quite the run he's wanted, but now gonna have that 82 Ricky Lafleur get to his inside here and likely get past them. You know, it's kind of been a little bit of championship hangover for this 03 team, but you know, we'll see how he does next year. I mean, it's a new season to rebound, and we might see Peter Onjak try to get back at the top of the pedestal, but it will not be a win in 2026 for this 03 team. So after 6 wins in season number 1, not going to quite be the same story in season number 2 for that number 03 team. You know, this has to sting for the 27 of Matthew Hubert, because, I mean, last season finishing 3rd. This season, I don't know where he's going to finish in the final standings. He might be all the way down as 5th, so, you know, it sucks for this 27 team. He had a great run. He had a shot, and was battling in the early laps, but a coolant leak is always going to take you out of it, unfortunately, for Matthew Hubert. And, you know, he's going to have fresh tires, but a little too late for the 27 team. And, you know, a great overall season. You know, Hubert, I mean, when it comes to all-time rankings, some of the best drivers in this series history. Right now, Matthew Hubert is arguably number 1. I mean, when it comes to the rest of them, I mean, I think you still would have Peter Onjak in 2nd. You have guys like Broggle Dorn, Alexander Rowe, I mean, even Aaron Abel after the season he's had, and what's likely to win here tonight unless that 98 has something to say. And Ronnie Hauger pushing it super close here. Don't know about this if you're Hauger. This is pushing a little dangerous, but the season Aaron Abel's had, he's cemented himself as one of the best drivers in the series as well. So Ronnie Hauger, wow, what a move there. Actually shoots the gap, gonna make it work there. And now the 30 and 75 of Benny Watson getting really close there. William Ayers and Benny Watson pushing it close. But the final 10 laps on this 2026 season, all Ronnie Hauger has to do is cruise to the end. He came into this race with an 8-point lead over his teammate Ricky Lafleur. Lafleur and Matthew Hubert both ran into issues here tonight that all fell in the way of this 83 of Ronnie Hauger. So now for this 83 Ronnie Hauger just has to make it to the end. Everything's fallen in his favor. Can he keep it going is the question. So now Aaron Abel just cruising to the end here. Got a 3-second gap over the number 98 of Caleb Rose. He won the pole. He's been up there all night, whether he's had to drive his way up for it or stick up there. And now he's going to try to end the season on a high note with the race win, lead himself into next year. You know, I mean, last season he got the win at, this season he got the win at Daytona. So, you know, he's going to finish off with the win. So that's great momentum if you're that 41 team. But with just 7 to go here, we're going to see how it all plays out. You know, not too many races go this well for this 41 team, but it looks like here tonight they finally will get over that hump of leading a lot of laps and something happening, and they will finally get back into victory lane, which has been quite a while. Well, not quite a while, actually. They won at Road America and the race before that and at Kansas. So Kansas, he was very good as well. Had some help from lap champ getting past that 27 Matthew Hubert, which Matthew Hubert, I mean, if he doesn't get those guys being thorns in his side at Kansas, maybe this point situation would have been a little bit easier for that 27 team. But, you know, I mean, regardless, with the issues they ran into here tonight, it was going to be quite tough. But now, for Aaron Abel, looking to lap this number 82 Ricky Lafleur, you know, it looks like the overcut's going to work again. I mean, they ran the overcut, fresher tires, a lighter truck. It works out for him. Hubert, I mean, he had to come down because of the coolant leak, so we didn't really quite see what Hubert would have been able to do on the same strategy, but it has all fallen and to plan for the 41 team here tonight and the number 83 team of Ronnie Hauger. And he's finally got himself into a spot, a bold move there to get to that inside of that 3 wide. But the reason he made that move is because if he finishes top 5, he's champion no matter what. So it was a move that he needed to make at the moment. And now for Ronnie Hauger, just a couple more miles to go here. I think 10 more miles actually. Not even. I think, I don't even know, but just 4 to go in this one. Ronnie Hauger, as a rookie, is going to look to become a champion here in the Gainbridge Truck Series. You know, we had a lot of rookies this season, not going to be as much next season, but 6 more miles to go for this number 83 team. At this point, a caution would bring out overtime, but right now, that's not what this 83 wants. But regardless, he's going to finish in a great spot here for Aaron Abel. You know, with the bad luck he's had the past couple races, this is a much-needed motivator heading into next season, as Racing Motorsports will return to Toyota next season. Meanwhile, Red Bull Fallout, which you see the 82 over to Lafleur, they will be going to Toyota. So that's going to be very interesting. Toyota going to be very competitive. Going to have a lot of trucks next season, as you're going to have Red Bull Fallout, Racing Motorsports, All Yine Racing, Golden Hour Racing, which will be under new leadership, which will be formerly known as Trident Racing Engineering. With just 2 to go for Aaron Abel, he looks to get the race win. Meanwhile, for Ronnie Hauger, he's looking to become a first-time champion here in the Gainbridge Truck Series. As Ronnie Hauger, up to this point, has had a great season, 6 wins on the year, just been flat out one of the best drivers. And, you know, coming into this chase, you know, we didn't really know what to expect. He didn't start off the hottest, but after a string of bad luck for his teammate, the number 41, and the number 82 over to Lafleur, he finally got into a spot, but the final lap of the 2026 season is underway. Aaron Abel looking to get another race win on the season, but for Ronnie Hauger, it's going to be tears of joy as they are going to be champions here in the Gainbridge Truck Series, as he's all the way up to 4th in this one, and he's now guaranteed to be champion here. A top 5 gets him the championship. And now for the number 41 of Aaron Abel, as makes his way through turns number 3 and 4. It's going to be Aaron Abel winning here at Homestead-Miami, as he's going to win the Vice City 400. But for Ronnie Hauger here, is Avery Alford on pit road. Ronnie Hauger, as he makes his way through here. Ronnie Hauger is going to be your 2026 Gainbridge Truck Series champion. What a win for the 83 team of Ronnie Hauger. They win the championship. Red Bull Fallout brings it home. Alexander Rose said at the start of the chase, when there was rumors of this team shutting down, it's practically championship or bust. Why not go out on top before? Of course, you're not going to be going out, but for 83 of Ronnie Hauger, he will be your champion here in the 2026 season. What a just overall run. 6 wins on the season. Just great for that number 83 team. Congratulations to Ronnie Hauger on getting the championship, and congratulations to Aaron Abel on winning the season finale here at Homestead-Miami. But the man of the hour here tonight is going to be that 83 of Ronnie Hauger. He did what he needed here tonight. Of course, he had some things fall his way, but I don't think anybody was stopping this 83 of Ronnie Hauger from getting the big gold here tonight at Homestead-Miami. So congratulations to Ronnie Hauger and Alexander Rowe of Red Bull Fallout Racing. They are going to be your 2026 Gainbridge Truck Series champions here. As what a season overall. It has been a battle from start to finish between Red Bull Fallout and Racing Motorsports, and ultimately they sort of both come out on top. Aaron Abel wins the final race, but the championship's coming home with the 83 team, and back-to-back championships for Ford. So they are on quite a run right now when it comes to championships. But right now, you know, Red Bull Fallout's going to be leaving. So who will take over for Ford next year? Possibly running a new body. So we'll see how much that affects their performance. But Ford back-to-back championships. They won with the 38 of Peter Onjak last season. And now, how about this? They won with the 83 of Ronnie Hauger. The numbers are flipped around. And they both had 6 wins. So, man, just a lot of coincidences here tonight. And lots of streaks being started here with Ford winning back-to-back championships here. And, you know, it's just, I mean, what a season overall. Thank you all, honestly, for just sticking around this whole season. It was just amazing run to the end. I'm so thankful to have all you guys here. And, you know, next season we'll see how it goes. We're gonna have a lot of new guys. It's gonna be more competitive, but I'm so thankful that we're gonna be able to open up a second series. And I'm so thankful that we've just had all you guys here from start to finish and really be, uh, tapped in with the league. Really just supporting it through thick and thin. So I'm really excited for how the rest of this one will go. Um, and it's gonna be a long off season, 4 months, but we're gonna have schemes coming out and all that, and hopefully some fun stuff on the side. I want to try to do some Minecraft stuff with the league and whatnot, so that will be fun, and maybe a one-off race for Christmas or whatnot. But not even a one-off race for Christmas. We might run the Clash on Christmas Eve, which will be a very fun and little event because the season will start back up the first or second week of January. So, you know, overall, folks, I mean, just thank you all for just such a great season. And, just once again, congratulations to Ronnie Hauger. I mean, just what a run he had this chase. Because, at Darlington, he was in an interesting spot. I mean, even in the regular season standings for Ronnie Hauger, I mean, he's in an interesting spot. In the regular season standings, Ronnie Hauger's all the way in fifth. So it's not like he's been the top guy all season, but his team time and time again shows up when it matters at the short tracks. They've been unstoppable all year, and they just come out on top once again. So, just hats off to Ronnie Hauger and that team. Just completely congratulations to them, and congratulations on getting the championship here. And now they're in record books, and we'll see if they can go back to back next season, or can they have a championship hangover. But if you're Ronnie Hauger, I mean, you don't really. The only hangover you're worrying about right now is how you're gonna wake up tomorrow morning after celebrating really hard here tonight at Miami, and just what a run. 28 weeks, maybe even a little bit longer, maybe let's say 30 weeks with, I think, only, I mean, this is actually a record. I think only about 2 or 3 races got delayed this season compared to last season where, I mean, maybe half of the schedule was delayed. So, overall, what a run. And, next season will be very fun too because, there are not going to be a lot of things that are going to be taking up time. So we're going to have a lot of shots to really be able to go really in depth with this thing and really just make this series even better. So, you know, it's going to be fun, and we're gonna see how it goes. And lots of things to go over, lots of new teams, lots of great guys joining the league. Like I said, it sounds like a broken record player, but I'm just so thankful for how the season has gone. It's been a long 30 weeks, I guess you could say, but we finally made it to the end, and a very deserving champion with the 83 of Ronnie Hauger with 6 wins on the season. That is no joke, and it shows the flip side of the format a little bit. Like if you're in the regular standings for Matthew Hubert, don't know if he's gonna actually. I think Angel Gutierrez with his finish here tonight, Gutierrez, despite all odds, being a regular season champion, will come through and win. I guess the just regular point standings. But you know, it shows that even if you're not doing the greatest in the regular point standings, if you get the wins, you're going to be in a great spot. And they got the wins in the regular season. They set themselves up for the chase. I think started third after finishing the regular season standings and about seventh or eighth. And it just all worked out for this 83 team. He also this is his 27th start on the season. He missed a race. He wrecked out at I think it was Auto Club, had a very scary wreck and missed a race at Coda where his team won with Sanjo Vittoria. So this 83 team, when it comes to the Cars Owners Championship, truck owner points going to be in a great spot as well because they've got at least 7 wins on the season, which is the most for a truck in any season so far. So this 83 team has been lights out. It hasn't always quite been the speedways, but when it comes to short tracks, comes to road courses, they have been a major threat. We saw it at Road America where they had the pole, I think it was, too. So didn't quite go his way, but it all worked out in the end for this number uh 83 team. So we'll take a look at your final finishing results for the one final time here in the 2026 season. And then, folks, we'll be sending you on your way. As you know, it's a long off season ahead, but thank you all. If you're looking to become a driver in the series, we still have plenty of spots in the Logitech Challenger series, so feel free to join the Discord server and sign up. Let's get into your finishing results here tonight at Homestead-Miami. You can see Caleb Rose finishes in second behind this number 41 of Aaron Abel. Meanwhile, Alexander Rowe finishes in third. He had a great run here tonight. That 98 and 7 were both on the coattails of this 41. Carl Young gets the top 5 out of it. He had a great run here tonight. Joseph Wood is all the way up here. Meanwhile, Brandon Haynes breaks into his top 10. Monica Pato, a great run. Chris Martins, Kirsten Miller, Matthew Burnett, Avery Alford had to come down pit road because, this was right around his pit window, so he did come down in the final couple of laps, but for some guys like On Jack, um, you know, not the greatest runs after they started pretty well in this one. And then for Matthew Hubert, just a coolant leak takes him out of this one. Ricky Lafleur started in 11th, gets back to 14th, but he was down to 21st at one point after the pit cycle stopped. So he really rebounded for the most part. But you know, interesting look at the final standings because at the same time, we were mostly focused on the lead, so there wasn't really much to look at when it comes to mid pack, but there was definitely good battles, and I mean it was just a flat out great race between everybody when it came down to it all at the end because they had a great battles throughout. I mean, Aaron Abel, that three wide move was insane. Avery Alford, that three wide was insane. The whole first half of this race was cinema when it came to speedway racing. The second half simmered down, but we expect that from a race like Miami. This is one of those races that it doesn't stand out as a strategy race, but much like Matthew Hubert said in his pre-race interview, it is very much a wild card when it comes to things, and it proved to be a wild card once again here tonight, as we saw just just some guys just not be in the right footing as they want it to be. But it's one of those races that pit strategy prevails because when where you come down, where you get that track position is going to set you up for how the next part of the race will go. For Avery Alford, he definitely had a shot at the win, but just I don't know. I think the 41 was just too fast here tonight, just flat out. I mean, he was just from the drop of the green flag. This 41 was just insane, and we saw that here tonight. And congratulations to Aaron Abel. I mean, not really crediting the winner too much, but just overall very good race. And Chris Martin's finishes with the fastest lap in this one, but 12 lead changes. That's a lot of lead changes. Aaron Abel though led 62 laps here tonight, so that's quite a bit of laps led in this one. Avery Alford led 23. Matthew Hubert led 4, but he finished near the back end because of his coolant leak. So it was just flat out uh, a very great speedway race here at Homestead-Miami. So that is your finishing order in this one, folks. I really thank you all for tuning into this one. The final goodbye for quite a while, and it's a shame, but times are picking up. We're not going to quite, you know, next season we're gonna have 30 races, so we're gonna be running a little bit longer, I would say, but it won't really matter much because I'm not gonna be really too caught up, I would say. Well, actually, I might be a little bit, but I don't think we're gonna be into August at least when it comes to the season, next year's season. But 2027 is quite a long ways away here, folks. But when it comes to fishing results, there's not too much to talk about. But it was flat out a great race, a very long race, but a great one here at Homestead-Miami. These drivers duked it out. This is what the final race of the season should be like. Guys are really pushing their limits as best as they can, and we really saw it here tonight. So I'm really glad how the field raced. But thank you all for watching this 2026 Gainbridge Truck Series season. Congratulations to Ronnie Hauger on getting the championship win, and just flat out great season. Now we go into a long off season, but we're gonna come out firing once again next season for hopefully another thriller. Gonna have a lot of these guys returning next season. This whole top 10 actually, most of the field, besides just a few guys. And then some guys dropping down to the Logitech Challenger Series. But for the most part, we're gonna have most of the field returning, so that's gonna be very, very nice to have all these guys back here duking it out once again. And who knows how next season go? We might see somebody else rise up the ranks and really start to compete with these guys at the top. Who really knows how it's all going to play out? But so far throughout the two seasons, we really had our guys that have been um uh it was just we had a lot of guys that have kind of kept up their momentum. Matthew Hubert, Peter Ojek, despite the bad luck he's had this season, those two have really solidified themselves as two of the best of all time when it comes to this series, and this just league in general. And when the Peter Ojeks ran well, he has ran really well. So he's definitely not falling off when it comes to talent. But guys like Carl Young, Alexander Rowe, Angel Gutierrez. Angel Gutierrez is one of those guys who had a terrible rookie year, but coming to this season, which I don't know why he was marked as a rookie on the ticker, but coming to the season, there was a lot of expectations. He started off last season actually miraculously for Rev Racing. After the first 4 races, he did have a points lead, but after then, I kind of saw it fell apart with Rev Racing not really getting off to the point that they wanted to, but he pulled through. So I'm really curious to see if we'll see that once again. But we definitely guys have really had their talent translate over, so I'm really curious to see how that will work out next season. It's a definitely more competitive field. So some guys might get the short end of the stick. We'll see how it plays out ultimately. But for one final time in the 2026 Gainbridge Truck Series season, folks, this is Charlie Davenport signing off from In Our Truck Night in America, folks. I'll see you all in a few months, but for this time, this is everybody at the NTNA crew. Thank you all for just really making this league possible and just keeping it up. But after 2 successful seasons, we still got more to go. And thank you all for just continuously being involved and being a part of this. And we're gonna see how it continues to play out. But I'm so thankful to have you all involved in this, and just thank you all. And like I said, for one final time, this is Charlie Davenport signing off from In Our Truck Night in America. Enjoy your weekends, and fortunately, we'll not be seeing you all next week. But join the Discord server if you want to stay a part of everything and really just uh I guess I guess in touch with the league. But we'll still have some occasional posts from now and then for other things that we'll be doing. But yep, we'll see you all next time here for the Clash. I guess it'll be for the 2027 season or preseason Thunder or something. We'll see how it plays out, folks. But see you all until next time. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Enjoy this long off season we have up ahead. Thank you all for tuning in to In Our Truck Night America for our wonderful 2026 season. See you all next time.